I'm first. Yo. No, I messed that. No, I gotta start. Okay. I won, I'm first. Y'all lost. I won.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm a little busy right now. Could you come back?
Why?
I'm dancing, okay? And I have to master this dance as soon as possible.
Why?
Because it's my victory dance.
Okay, now I'm confused.
Okay, let me help you out here, okay? Today is a really, really important day for me, okay? I'm running a 5K race. That's a really big race, okay? And I need to practice. No, not running, because who needs to practice running? Everyone can run. What I need to practice is my victory dance, because I cannot afford to make a fool of myself after winning a 5K race.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're running a 5K race and you haven't practiced?
Well, I just said I was practicing.
No, I mean real practicing, not dancing. You need to practice running. You can't just wake up one day and think you're gonna run a 5K.
Why not?
These things take months of practice. Have you even run a race before?
I have actually. Right here, this right here is a participation award for my preschool jumbo gym race, okay? Have you ever run a race?
Oh, yeah, actually. I have. I've
Oh,
won
wow.
a few. I got this one for being the top race practicer. This one's for being a member of the running club. I got this one for the Run-a-Dee Run race. I got this one for the High Knee Fun Run race. This one's the mud race. I got one for the Veggie Tail race and the team color race. And Ethan, you know what all of these have in common?
None of them are for first place?
No, I had to actually practice to win these, not practice my victory dance. I had to run.
You know what? I knew you wouldn't understand. And why am I even surprised anymore? I'm well aware that my amazing ideas, they go way over your head, okay? So if you don't mind, I have a dance I have to practice. I'm one. Hey, Buena Vista Baptist kids, welcome back. Do any of you guys play a sport? Like basketball, or soccer, or hockey? Or how about a musical instrument? Do any of you play the piano, or maybe the guitar? Well, I actually play two instruments. I play the drums, and I play the trombone. No, I'm not really good at the trombone, but I'm practicing so that I can get better. And for those of you who play sports or musical instruments, you know all about practicing. Sometimes it's not really all that fun, but no matter what sport you play or what instrument you play, you still have to practice. Even if you've been playing whatever it is you play for years and years, you still have to practice. Now, the same can be said for our faith. Being a Christian isn't easy. In fact, it might be the hardest thing that some of us have to do. It's not just something you can wake up one morning and decide to be good at. For example, one of the things Jesus tells us to do is to love others. That means everyone else, even the people we don't like. And do you think it's easy to love people you don't like? No, it's really, really hard, and it takes a lot of practice. But that's what this month is all about, practicing our faith. Today, we're going to take a look at some of Paul's writings where he compares being a good and faithful Christian to preparing for a race. Now, believe it or not, one of the biggest things you need to practice when preparing for a race is running. I know it seems silly, everyone can run, but it's not as easy as it sounds. Now imagine this though. What if someone didn't practice running, but instead practiced something else, like, I don't know, maybe their victory dance? Do you think they're gonna win the race? Probably not. So that's our bottom line for today. Keep practicing what matters most.
Have you ever decided to do something really big? Like learn how to play guitar? Or, make friends with the new kid down the street? Maybe you even want to bake a master chef-worthy cake for your mom's birthday. You're super excited to get started, but then you sit down with the guitar and... oh, no. Or you spend all morning working up the nerve to go knock on the new kid's door, and it turns out he's gone for a week of summer camp. Then you find the recipe for that amazing cake, And it's crazy. Doing big things takes work. It takes making a plan and then sticking with it. There are calluses along the way, patience and courage in building a friendship, and definitely some mess. But when you follow through, you find the music, you grow a friendship, you create amazing edible art. And through it all, others can see how God has given you the strength to stick with it. That's why commitment is an amazing way to worship God with your life, because worship is about more than just singing loud. It's all about living loud.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story inspired by the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 9, verses 24 through 25.
Did you know that some writers of the Bible talk sports? Well, not every sport, but at least one that you are familiar with. Yep, running. Running has been around ever since God created people. In fact, the Apostle Paul uses running as an example in one of his letters to the church in Corinth.
In a race, all the runners run, but only one gets the prize. You know that, don't you? So run in a way that will get you the prize.
Now, Paul is talking about more here than just running, but first you have to understand what it takes to run a long race. Let's say you want to run a marathon. That's 26.2 miles. There's no way you can just hop up off the sofa where you've been playing video games for months and run that far. So, you need a plan. When I was preparing for my first marathon, I found this plan. I started training more than 4 months ahead of the race, and I started with just a few miles at a time. Once you've got a plan, well, then you gotta move. That means short runs, long runs, and cross-training to work other muscles and prevent injury. Next up, you've got to fuel. Plenty of water, of course. Plus, you need healthy carbs for your long runs like bananas. And maybe some spaghetti and meatballs. What's the last part of your training? Get ready for it. Rest. If you don't rest and let your body recover, you'll get burnt out or injured. The last few days before a marathon, you don't even run at all. Yeah, running a long race is no joke. But Paul says what we're doing right now, you and me, is even more important.
All who take part in the games train hard. They do it to get a crown that will not last. But we do it to get a crown that will last forever. So I do not run like someone who doesn't run toward the finish line. I do not fight like a boxer who hits nothing but air.
Paul packs a lot of weight into just a few sentences. Whether you planned it or not, we are all running a race right now. Okay, so that's a little crazy. Clearly, I'm standing here talking to you, and you aren't outside running laps either. But Paul is talking about a way of life, a journey. We're all focused on the finish line, life forever with Jesus, but in the meantime, every step along the way is important as we live out what matters most. Jesus reminded his followers,
"Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Love him with all your mind. Love your neighbor as you love yourself."
Yep, love God, love others. That's what matters on this journey together. But just like you can't skip from jogging 1 lap around the school gym to running a 26.2 mile race, you're gonna need some practice. Your Love God, Love Others marathon needs a training plan. Now, none of us have it all figured out, but here are 4 important things to start with. In fact, you may already be doing some of them. First point, hear. God is the master teller of this amazing story. He's the author of this whole race, so the most important thing is learning to hear from God. That means digging into God's word and hearing the stories and wisdom from people who walked with him. And you can also hear from God from people around you in your life who know and follow him. Now, here's the second step in training for our Love God, Love Others marathon. Pray. Okay, when you hear pray, you might think,
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
Truth is, you don't need fancy words to pray. You can talk to God anytime, anywhere, about anything, just like talking to your mom or your best friend. Now let's take a look at point 3 in our training plan. Talk. Hello out there! Tell other people what God has been up to in your life, what's changing, how you're learning to love others better. And here's the final point in your Love God, Love Others training plan. Live. Live for God. Let his love fill up every part of your life, at home, at school, at church, even when your dad makes you stop reading your book to play a game with your little sister. Hear, pray, talk, live. That's how you practice loving God and loving others. As Paul wrote, so run in a way that will get you the prize. We do it to get a crown that will last forever. And when you do, you will live out Paul's wisdom to the Corinthians and win the race.
Your plans for me are good. You hold my future. You're working all the time. You're the mountain mover. From sunrise to sunset, till the sun comes back up again. You're by my side. You started a good work in me. I know that you will complete it. You will see it through, yeah. I know that you're still working on me. And everything that you say you'll do, 'cause I believe that you are faithful, oh, you are faithful, oh, you are faithful. I'll trust your every word, 'cause I believe that you're working for my good. Yes, you're committed. From sunrise to sunset, till the sun comes back up again. You're by my side. You started a good work in me. I know that you will complete it. You will see it through, yeah. I know that you're still working on me. And everything that you say you'll do, 'cause I believe that you are faithful, oh, you are faithful, oh, you are faithful. You are my hope, you are my future. You are the mountain mover. You are faithful. You are my hope, you are my future. You are the mountain mover. You are faithful. You started a good work in me. I know that you will complete it. You will see it through, yeah. I know that you're still working on me. And everything that you say you'll do, 'cause I believe that you are faithful, oh, you are faithful, you are faithful, oh, you are faithful, oh, you are faithful, oh, you are faithful.
Dear Ethan, you have placed 16th out of 16 people in the easier said than run 5K race. Unfortunately, we don't have a medal for last place, but thanks for participating. Signed, the Miss Marathon Foundation. 16th? So, how did I get last? I practiced so much and so hard. How?
Ethan, hey, what's going on?
I got last in my race. See? And I worked so hard for it.
Well,
But I have an idea that you're not going to believe. What if I was practicing the wrong thing? I mean, my victory dance is already amazing. I should have been practicing my running. Ugh, I'm so
Ethan,
silly.
I told you
Okay,
that.
okay. So I've already signed up for another 5K race, so I need to start practicing right away, okay? Don't mind me.
Okay. Well, when the Apostle Paul wrote his letter about running the race, it was about more than just running. It was about life. Because sometimes life can feel like a race. That's why we train. Practice what's important, what matters most. Jesus taught us that what matters most is loving God and loving others. And when you're practicing that, remember these 4 words: hear, pray, talk, and live. Hear God, pray to God, talk about God, and live for God. Sometimes in the race of life, it's hard and you need God's help and wisdom. And when it gets hard, you might want to give up, but don't. Keep going, keep practicing, don't give up. 2 Timothy 4:7 says this: I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Parents, don't forget to check out the parent guides that are found on our website. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.